Once again, calling on the managing editor of Newsmax.com, Alina Hernandez, who is Skyping in to talk with us. Alina, you hear Colonel Peters talk about Cuba and talk about Russia. Now, there has been historically for the last half century a close relationship between the two. Do you believe that will continue, or does the reestablishment of diplomatic relations allow the United States to drive a wedge in that Cuban-Russian relationship?
Well, the Russians have very slowly kind of extricated themselves from Havana. They aren't giving Havana the support that they once did. I do think that this is an opportunity for this administration to exact some influence. I do think that Obama is going to have to work very hard to show the Cubans that he has expectations, that there will be some changes on the island. I am increasingly concerned that he is a bit naive when it comes to foreign policy. Vladimir Putin has pretty much ignored any of the West's demands about exiting Crimea. We have, we don't seem to have much say right now in Cuba. We don't seem to have much say right now in Afghanistan and Iran. He needs to become much tougher.
Well, mindful of that, and we'll get back to personal relationships and what it means emotionally to Cuban Americans. I'm just interested in terms of Realpolitik. Will the president's overtures to the Castro brothers just be interpreted by that communist regime as American appeasement?
Yes, I do think that the Castro brothers see this as an opportunity for them to raise their stature, certainly in the region and in the world. If America has accepted them, they now have some authority. They now have some standing in the world, and they're going to exact that to their means. So I do think that the administration has to make sure that they get some concessions here, that we start seeing efforts to open up the media, efforts to ease the travel restrictions that the Castro brothers place on visiting Cuban Americans. It's very expensive to travel to the island to see your relatives, much more so than any other foreign countries' residents have to pay. So I'm hoping that we will start seeing some concessions. Human rights, they must release political prisoners. These people are in jail for no other reason than they actually had a difference of opinion with the government. Most of the dissidents in Cuba are peaceful demonstrators. These are not people who are bombing hotels. These are people who are demonstrating, they're peacefully marching. They want a peaceful transition to democracy. Opening those kinds of doorways, I think, will be the key for the administration.
And Alina, in the minute and a half that remains, I want to get more of your personal perspective on this. We made mention of your family history. Professionally, you went back to Cuba to open a news bureau there. So now you've had a couple of weeks. Has the initial intrigue and allure of the promise of this change in relationship, has that worn off a little bit for a more, I don't want to say a more cold-eyed impression? Or bottom line is, in the minute left, what do you think is going to transpire?
I think everyone is cautiously optimistic. There isn't going to be a quick change in Cuba. I think people who thought that this would be the opening of doors, I don't think that that's going to happen. I don't think you're going to see foreign investment anytime soon. Everyone is waiting to see what the regime will do to make change. But I don't expect that you're going to see American McDonald's opening up in Havana anytime soon. Don't expect to see car makers building cars somewhere on the island. That isn't going to happen. We have to deal with the fact that this is a very closed society, a very closed regime, and unless we get some concessions from the Castro brothers, we really have done a whole lot of lip service, but certainly not made any significant change on the island. And that's what I'm fearing.
We will keep our eye on it, and Alina Hernandez, we will have you back to talk more about it in the days ahead. And America's Forum continues following this time out.